Okay, the claim that I'm refuting is fast food chains fail to protect the environment by not recycling. And their first secondary claim is oil is disposed of improperly by the fast food chains, and the sub-secondary claims it harms the ecosystem, it is expensive to fix when disposed down drains or toilets, and oil can be recycled and used as a renewable energy source. And the second secondary claim says fast food chains fail to recycle containers, and the sub-secondary claims are trash ends up all over the dumpsters, no recycling bins or recycled containers used, and no laws or regulations aimed at getting fast food industries to recycle. And for the first secondary claim, oil is disposed of improperly by fast food chains. She doesn't specify what kind of oil. Is it like the oil to run the trucks to deliver the produce, or is it the cooking oil? But looking at the website that she gave, I could safely infer that it would be cooking oil, so that I went with that. And she says it harms the ecosystem, and this is true, but she doesn't give any evidence in her speech. And then she says it is expensive to fix when disposed of down drains or toilets. She again doesn't give any evidence in her speech, but in her outline she gave some evidence that it is expensive to fix when oil is poured down drains, but she doesn't give any facts that fast food places do this, so that doesn't really help her. And then oil can be recycled and used as a renewable energy source, and she doesn't say how like fast food chains refuse to recycle the oil, so it's just that would help her argument more, but she doesn't do that. She just says that it can be recycled. And in a website called Pacific Biodiesel in 2009, they had an article that's called Restaurants for Renewable Programs launched, and this website is they sell oil, the recycled oil that they get from restaurants that recycle the oil. And I found that on a McDonald's on Oahu, Hawaii recycles their oil, so you can see that they can do that. They don't necessarily pour their oil down the drains. And then for the secondary claim, fast food chains fail to recycle their containers. She doesn't give any evidence in her speech. And then trash ends up all over the dumpsters. I'm not sure if she's saying like all over in the dumpsters or around the dumpsters, but if it's in, then it belongs there. But if it's like around it, how does that, how is that the fast food chain's fault? If it's around the dumpsters, maybe it's the people who just ate their food and left it there, but that's not really the fast food chain's fault. And then no recycling bins or recycled containers used, and she doesn't give any evidence. And then I found that on in SE Calgary, in 2004, in 1989, in the New York Times, there was a McDonald's plastic recycling plan, and it said 100 McDonald's in England agreed to participate in the program, which asked customers to separate the polystyrene containers from other trash in separate baskets marked for recyclable plastic only. And the polystyrene is a plastic lining that is used to keep the food warm. And later they switched from polystyrene to paper. And in 2007, in the Encyclopedia Britannica, it said Arizona's-based Eagles earned an administrator's award from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for recycling all paper, cardboard, and polystyrene across its 21-store chain. And in 2009, SE Calgary News of Canada, it said McDonald's is in the midst of an Ontario pilot project in which restaurants separate garbage and recycling materials and are sorted into separate bins. And Charlene Sheehan, the spokesperson and public relations manager from Western Canada, says McDonald's has additional programs in the place to recycle, reduce, and reuse such organic waste diversion projects that use the material to create energy and compost material. So as you can see that they do recycle, and they do have recycling bins. So and then you can see how it started from 1989 and then 2007 and then up to 2009. And then also it started from England to Arizona to Canada, so you see that it's progressing, that the fast food chains are putting recycling more as a priority. And then no laws or regulations aimed at getting fast food industries to recycle. And she didn't give any evidence on that in her speech either. And then in 2004, in DEFRA.gov, which is a website which deals with food regulations in the UK, there was an article called Changes to the Law Concerning the Use of Waste Cooking Oil from Catering Premises. And it said, it was a leaflet from DEFRA, the Animal Byproducts Regulation, that was issued in Europe, and it says waste cooking oil must be poured down drains or sewers, must not be poured down drains or sewers. Such actions could result in potential prosecution and could be fined £8,774 or $5,337 US. So you can see that that also applies to the earlier argument that she made, that fast food chains pour down their oil down the drains. And you can see that this is a regulation, and it kind of pushes the fast food chains to to try and recycle instead of just not recycling, like how she said. So in conclusion, fast food chains don't necessarily fail to protect the environment by not recycling. And she basically just based her argument in presuppositions and opinions, and she didn't really back it up with any evidence. So
all right, the first part of your argument is basically analytical. The second part is where you develop counterclaims. Basically, the contrast here is, what did the advocate say? They said there aren't any programs to do recycling, that these fast food companies aren't doing anything. What evidence did they provide? Well, the advocate didn't provide any evidence. But here's the counterclaim. They are doing something. We've got this program in Hawaii. We've got the fast food chains in England. We've got a model program that's been developed in Canada. We have McDonald's and other companies who are getting awards for doing recycling. In essence, all of the stuff that the advocate said was true in their argument that would justify being worried about this is not true according to this information. I thought that explanation was really clear. That's the strongest part of the argument. You need to get to that a little more sharply, but you're on the right track there. Thank you.